The Apollo moon landing was a fake spectacle, the 21st century equivalent of Roman bread and circuses, designed to capture the public's imagination and divert it from the Vietnam War. But don't take my word for it. That's according to a Russian investigation using Google's own AI, which determined that footage from the 1969 moon landing was a fake composition using synthetic imagery. And video reveals Putin himself was not remotely surprised by the news of the Great Deception. Ever since he vowed to destroy the New World Order and expose the lies upon which the House of Cards is built, Putin has been absorbing blows from the global elite and biding his time. Like a boxer confident in his own strength, waiting for the right moment to strike. The New World Order are responsible for the biggest and darkest lies ever told to humankind, which means the evidence is explosive. Putin knows he only has to strike once and the New World Order will fold. Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, join the People's Voice Locals community to join our incredible community and support the channel, and visit collective.thepeoplesvoice.tv to claim a stake in the channel, earn profits, and have a say in what we do. According to Google's own AI, the US moon landing photos and videos are fake. Oops. No wonder NASA accidentally erased and reused the original tapes of the historic event. Meanwhile, in Russia, Putin wasn't at all surprised when news was relayed to him that US technology has proven that the Apollo moon landing was a fake event, filmed on a Hollywood soundstage, and broadcast to the entire world for propaganda purposes.
То есть почти все объекты на этом фото ей кажутся не настоящими. В то же время вот фотография китайского лунохода у нее особенных вопросов не вызывает.
А это то, что кажется не настоящим?
Да, да, вот то, что красное.
Это как гугловская, не наша. Чтобы не было предвзятости никакой. Удивительно, но там точно вот она смотрит по очень много параметров, в том числе там падение светотеней и так далее, и показывает, что инкорпорирована фотография.
A New Mexico man has made a series of astonishing confessions since he was diagnosed with terminal cancer and told he has only months to live. He claims the moon landing was faked by the US government, with footage shot at a military base, and the surface of the moon recreated with sand and cement powder. According to Gene Gomar, his father, a military policeman who was stationed at Cannon Air Force Base, was involved in the massive deception that fooled the world, laying the groundwork for a government-sponsored mass formation psychosis that continued throughout the decades and into the current era. The deathbed confession, filmed by his father in 2002, was destroyed in a fire of unknown origin. So Gomar decided to recreate it and share his father's story for the world before his own death. In the confession, Gomar, born Eugene Reuben Akers, says he doesn't want fame or money for what he's doing, because hopefully the video will not be released until after his death. Gomar passed away on February the 13th earlier this year, so we are now able to view and share the extraordinary confession. After this quick break, we've got his confession in full. Is the truth about the moon landings finally starting to leak out?
Hello, my name is Gene Gilmore. My birth given name is Eugene Reuben Akers. I don't want any money for what I'm doing because hopefully this video won't come out until after my death. So I have nothing to gain, nothing to profit by telling you what I'm going to tell you. Okay, anyway, this is the story that my dad told me on his deathbed. Project Slam Dunk was the name of this. President Johnson in 1968, okay? In Cannon Air Force Base in 1968, he said by the time he got there, that there was already 2 large hangars that were connected. There was hundreds of dump trucks that came in and dumped sand and stone, and cement powder was powdered over the top of all that to make it look like a lunar landscape. They had men that fashioned it into a lunar landscape, he said. So anyway, he said that in front of the airplane hangars was pole framing with large canvas tents that was concealing the inside of the staging area. Inside the staging area, on flatbed trucks, was created the lunar lander that was reassembled back inside the hangars. All of the walls were painted flat black, and the ceilings as well. He was sworn to secrecy by the NSA, and they would put him in prison for breaking that oath. When Dad saw the moon landing on TV, he cried. He said he knew that what he had witnessed on TV was exactly what they recorded in that hangar. There was no reason for them to go flying around and everything. They had detailed high-definition photos of the landing area. Anyway, Dad was one of 3 guards that guarded the inside of the front entrance. There was a list of 15 people who could enter. No one else was allowed by order of President Johnson. And here is that list. Neil Armstrong, Edwin Aldrin, Werner von Braun, Robert Emenegger, Gene Kranz, James Webb, Joe Kerwin, Dr. Thomas Paine, Glenn Looney, Dr. Christopher Kraft, Dr. James Van Allen, General Trudeau, Lieutenant Colonel Donald Simon, and Grant Norrie. Now, the only 2 that I really have information on is Robert Emenegger. Apparently, he did a lot of video work and stuff for the Department of Defense. So the DoD did know him. Okay, and the other one was Grant Norrie, Norray, I believe. Was to the best of my dad's knowledge, was a like some FBI, CIA, NSA, who knows, something like that. Okay, President Johnson only showed up for the first day of filming. Filming lasted for 3 days, and the entire project was restored to original. In other words, the hangars were all taken apart, the sand was all removed, and so on and so forth. Dad told me all these things father to son. He also told me not to ever tell anyone what he had said, but he said on his deathbed that he had to tell somebody before he died because it was just too important not to tell. I sure as hell wasn't going to tell anybody. Yeah, I feared for my wife and me and my son, and I'll tell you why. Ever since I contacted Bart Sabrell, I think they may be listening to his phone once in a while, because I never had any problems until I contacted him and told him my story. Now, people broke into my house 2 times. I was visited by men with black suits, and I was told in no uncertain terms to drop this whole project, not to say any more to anybody, or me and my wife and my son could disappear. My dad, he raised me by the book. I know he didn't lie to me. And as I started seeing more and more of what he was telling me was true, I realized my dad wasn't lying. I lifted the lid off my dad's case, and you can see that his name is Cyrus Eugene Akers. He was born on July 17th, 1933. He died on September 28, 2002. Here's his badge, and I wanted to see if I could get as close as possible so that you can read the numbers on the bottom, which are, okay, there it is. (07596) 07596.
In the past 12 months, NASA has made a series of revelations that have left the official narrative in shreds. Mainstream media barely reported on these revelations, so most people remain none the wiser about what NASA has admitted. The truth of the matter is, NASA has all but confirmed the landings were fake, and anybody who works in the space industry or has any knowledge about rocket science has quietly accepted that the whole thing was a charade. And now they keep pushing back and delaying the Artemis program. So why is nobody talking about this? We literally didn't go to the moon in 1969, and to this day, no human being, American, Russian, Chinese, or ancient Egyptian, has been past low Earth orbit, which is about 1,000 miles above sea level. When more people become aware that we simply don't know how to get to the moon, an astronomical renaissance will ensue, based on empirical evidence rather than NASA lies. And remember, we are part of something so huge right now. We've got the potential to break the chains of the past, the control, division, hatred, and separation. That's why the control apparatus is so afraid. They know that they can't stop this. The more they lie, the more they deceive, the more they expose themselves, which leads to more people waking up from the illusion. Here at the People's Voice, we are determined to help as many people as possible wake up and rise up against the control apparatus, but we need your help. Subscribe to the channel, tell your friends and family about us, pray for us, and join the People's Voice Locals community for exclusive and uncensored content. Keep thinking for yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.